for the longest time, I always thought to myself, okay, this is what I like to do. I'm going to do like this, and I'm going to move in this direction. And then when we had access to more information about photography and knowledge, I realized that, oh, hang on, there were actually people who were doing things in a particular kind of way that I like to do. And one of them was Annie Leibovitz. Annie is a legendary photographer. I think that almost every photographer who is into portraiture knows about Annie. And she's done a lot of work for Vogue and for a lot of foreign magazines. And her portraits have always been really, really enthralling. I remember, I think the first portrait of hers that I saw was one of the Queen of England, and that was a portrait I saw that really said, "Oh, you know what? Hang on, this person is a person who I think could actually be taking pictures in the kind of way that I like to." Take my pictures. And so I started following up on Annie's work. It wasn't very easy back then. Obviously the internet wasn't like how it was right now, where there's a lot of resources for you to mine. But I was able to get a lot of information about Annie, and then eventually started following up on her style and her work, and I started following up on people who shot like Annie. And so the internet, YouTube, has been the biggest resource for me in terms of learning or relearning how to improve on the kind of thing I do in terms of light. A long time ago, when I picked up my dad's camera, it was a Minolta, and I took my first pictures, used my pocket money to buy my first roll of film, and saw what I could do with natural light and portraits and taking pictures of people, friends initially. I realized that it would be nice, it would be good, fun pastime to do that sort of thing. And then after like 3 or 4 different camera changes, and when I landed on my first Sony DSC M1 camera, and that was when I realized that I wanted to be a professional photographer. I picked up my dad's Minolta, and I saw that I saw the pictures he had taken before. That was also an avid photographer. He liked taking pictures, and I think it was a thing. I saw him doing it. I was like, oh, okay, you know what? Let me see what he's doing with this stuff. Picked up his camera, and I started taking pictures. I remember back then it was the Alpha films, and it was 36 exposures. You never knew what you would get. So every single time I wanted to take a picture, I made sure to prepare properly for that picture to be taken before I took the picture. I would always get my subjects, usually my friends and my siblings, to pose on, for me, and I would find ways to make the picture look dramatic, from a window or the sun. I didn't really know what I was doing then, but I knew that I just liked to have, the lighting to be different and dramatic. And I took it from there. And after those pictures were taken, you obviously, those films had like the 6 exposures. You take a lot of pictures, and then after a while you go and wash them. So you didn't know what would happen with a picture you took 4 or 5 months ago, because the first picture will probably be 5 months ago, the next picture on the exposure will be like 3 months afterwards, and the next picture will be like 7 months afterwards. But you just leave them there in the camera until you finish taking them, and then when all the 6 were finished, you go wash them and then finally see what you had. That happened for a long time, really. But I always wanted to have something dramatic, shaped by with light, see what the light would do to their faces, see what the light would do to their features, see how it will affect the way they looked and their character, and see how their personality would show through the light. And that was all I wanted to do. And so when I got my first, when I got my hand on my friend's digital camera, I did what I could with the light that I could. Eventually, when we started getting some access to the internet, I started reading up on you know, what it was that made me think about light, and I realized that there was actually, you know, the art of photography is actually about light shaping and light bending. And yeah, that has actually been what I do with photography, trying to find out how I could use natural light to create an image that of someone, to show their personality and show what they were like inside. If I could take my art in any direction, it'd just be portraiture. I would literally just shoot portraits forever. Everybody, presidents, ministers, prime ministers, queens, kings, just shoot portraits, nudes, candids, anything. Just let me just come into your space for like a day or two and shoot you in most candid ways and everything. That's what I'll actually love to do. The thing is, when I first started taking pictures, I always dreamed of taking, there's this always idealistic idea of, oh, you know what, capturing human beings and their most candid emotions and candid situations and candid postures and everything. It was great to be taking pictures. It was great to have that unfettered chance to just shoot people as much as you wanted, you know, friends, clients and everything. But the thing is, when you live in a country like Nigeria, where you have to pay bills, you realize that shooting portraits alone can't actually sort you out in terms of your day-to-day expenses, equipment, living, and just life in general. So you find out that you actually have to start, you know, delving into other, you know, more lucrative photography ventures. In Nigeria, the most lucrative aspect of photography in Nigeria is events photography, and you find that you have to get into event photography and put a footprint there to ensure that you actually get regular events. So when you I realized that when I'm able to do as many events as I can do and get paid properly for those events, and that allows me pay for my equipment, pay for living expenses and everything, I'm able to subsidize portraiture, or able to subsidize all of the things that I like to actually do with my photography. So I find that events photography has been where I have had to go into for my daily bread so that I can subsidize the part of photography that I actually love. Hi, I'm Alistair Engelbert Preston. I'm a photographer, and this is my first.